Opponents of the Warren report maintain that Officer Tippit was shot not by Oswald, but by others. Who shot Officer Tippit? Eddie Barker talked to two witnesses who were on the scene of the Tippit murder. First, Domingo Benavides, who was at the wheel of a truck across the street from the scene.
As I was driving down the street, I seen this police car was sitting here, and the officer was getting out of the car, and apparently had been talking to the man that was standing by the car. The policeman got out of the car, and as he walked past the windshield of the car where they'd kind of lined up over the hood of the car, well, this other man shot him. And, of course, he was reaching for his gun. And so I was standing there, sitting there in the truck, and not in no big hurry to get out. Of course, I was sitting there watching everything. This man turned from the car then and took a couple steps. Then, as he turned to walk away, he was unloading his gun, and he took the shells, held them in his hand, and as he took off, he threw them in the bushes, more or less like nothing really trying to get rid of them. I guess he didn't figure he was caught anyway, so he just threw them in the bushes. But as he started to turn and walk away, he stopped and looked back at me, and I didn't know if he figured, well, I'll just let this poor guy go, or he has nothing to do with it, or, I'm not out to kill everybody, just, whoever gets in my way, I guess. I gave him enough time to get around the house, thinking he might have went in the house. I sat there for maybe a second or two, and then jumped out of the truck and run over. As I walked by, I didn't even slow down. I see the officer dead, so I just walked in, got in the car, and I figured that would be the fastest way. In fact, I don't even know why I called him on the radio. I just figured now that it was the fastest way to get a police officer out.
Hello, police operator. Go ahead. Go ahead. It says news. Hello, we've had a shooting out here. Where is it at? It says news and police radio. What location?
Between Marsalis and Buckley. It's a police officer. Somebody shot him. What's it? 10th Street. It's in a police car. Number 10. Hello, police operator. Did you get that?
Police officer, 510 East Jefferson.
Thank you. 35.
The Citizen News and Police Radio will remain off the radio now.
Well, now, did several other people come up later?
Immediately afterwards. I mean, it was just, after people, I guess, a block away, like Mr. Calloway, he come up and he says, let's go get him or something. And then this cab pulled up right afterwards. And so Calloway went over and took the officer's gun out of his hand.
But Calloway did go after him, didn't he?
Yeah, Calloway took off to go try to catch him.
Tom, what about those expended shells?
Well, they were looking all over the place for evidence, I guess, and taking fingerprints and what have you. So I guess they was going to walk off and leave them. Not knowing they was there and seeing I knew where they was at, I walked over and picked up a stick and picked them up and put them in a Winston package. I think I picked up two and put them in a Winston package, and then as I was walking back, I picked the other one up by hand, I believe. And I picked them up with a stick, keep from leaving fingerprints on them, because I figured they might need them.
The cartridges that Benavides picked up were positively identified as being fired in Oswald's revolver, but only one of the 4 lead bullets removed from Officer Tippit's body could be positively identified with that revolver by Illinois ballistics identification expert Joseph Nickel. Ted Calloway went to the police station that night and made a positive identification of Oswald in a lineup. But Mr. Benavides did not do so. Eddie Barker asked him if he were sure Oswald did the shooting.
Is there any doubt in your mind that Oswald was the man you had seen shoot Tippit?
No, sir, there was no doubt at all, period. I could even tell you how he combed his hair and the clothes he wore and what have you to the detail. And if he had a scar on his face, I could probably tell you about it. But you don't forget things like that.
The answer to this question, despite the problem of the ballistic evidence, is that Lee Harvey Oswald shot J.D. Tippit.